to the orange in Syracuse, New York. The entire campus is buzzing as Syracuse looks for a signature win against Florida State, and the school's doing anything that they can to get fans into the Carrier Dome early, including creating a game day atmosphere right here in the middle of campus. Now, Cuse quarterback Eric Dungey has a message for everyone doubting his team, telling me Syracuse isn't just a basketball school anymore. We have a huge chip on our shoulder because no one thinks we can win this game. Florida State doesn't even respect us. It's the 2- and 3-star recruits of Syracuse going up against the 5 stars from Tallahassee. And our goal is to annihilate our opponent. Dungey told me it doesn't matter that Florida State is just 1-1. They're one of the blue bloods of college football, and he's planning on taking them down. Week 3, just moments away.
Welcome, everyone, to ESPN College Football, presented by Xfinity. You're watching the ACC on ESPN under the bubble here in Syracuse, New York. It's Florida State taking on Syracuse. The 12th meeting all time between these two teams. And Florida State trying to make it 11 consecutive wins against Syracuse. Willie Taggart in his first year on the sidelines called Florida State his dream job, but after 2 close calls, a loss and a near loss, the honeymoon appears to be coming to an abrupt end. Dino Babers on the sidelines in his 3rd season at Syracuse says he thinks Florida State might be ready to explode. His team wary as we kick off. The Seminoles will take it 1st down and 10. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, chopping it up with Dusty Dvorak. Dusty, we should have saved this bubble in the good weather for November.
A little balmy in here today.
Hey, when you look at Florida State, a year ago at this time, they were top 5, playing Alabama, lose their starting quarterback, now an afterthought. Today, an important step on the road back.
It is, and they need to start fast. They've started really slow in this Willie Taggart Gulf Coast offense, and Deondre Francois finally coming into his own, throwing the football. If they can give him some time, could be a breakout performance for Mr. Francois.
1st down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Seminoles with a trips right formation. And hand it off to Cam Akers, the sophomore tailback out of Clinton, Mississippi, trying to get on track this season. There's a look at the actuals and factuals on Deondre Francois. Was injured in the first game of the season last year against Alabama. In 2 games so far, completing 65% of his passes. Has 3 touchdown tosses.
And a big-time arm, can make all the throws. Can they protect him? The real question.
2nd down and 8. Francois with time, and it looked like it was batted from behind. Good pressure on the backside by Chris Slayton. That offensive line for Florida State has struggled in 2 games.
They really have. Chris Slayton, a powerful defensive tackle, gets up the field, using his hands, and a big hit on Deondre Francois. It's been a problem all season long, protecting him, giving him time, allowing him to step up into the pocket. 2nd down, takes a big hit, setting up 3rd and long.
Francois has some tall, lanky receivers at his disposal. Given time, into traffic and incomplete near midfield. Andre Cisco there to break it up. And it's a quick 3 and out for the Seminoles offensively, intended for Gavin.
No pressure on the 3rd down. Drop 8 and just bring 3. Perfect start to the game for Syracuse and their defense, getting after Florida State's offensive line. Willie Taggart over there talking to his quarterback, trying to figure some things out.
Willie Taggart, a offensive-minded coach, very much known for his offensive creativity. 4th down and 8. A nice punt all the way back to the 17. This is Antoine Cordy dancing around at the 25 and finally brought down to the 31-yard line. A good punt by Logan Tyler of 56 yards, and out comes Eric Dungey, 3-year starter for Syracuse, and he is very much the heartbeat of this team.
He is. You know, they said as this offense goes, Eric Dungey goes. He's a fiery competitor. They said there's a lion that's inside of him on game days. A true dual threat, too. Had a 200-yard rushing game in week 1, threw for 5 touchdown passes last week. In his 3rd year in this Dino Babers system, Dino said he's never had a quarterback in this system for this long.
It's going to be Mo Neal getting the start at tailback, and a nice game by Neal. Brought down by Dontavius Jackson, a gain of 6 yards on the play. That offensive line of Syracuse, one of the team's strengths. Doing a nice job on first down, a short 2nd and 4. Dungey flushed out, and wisely using good discretion, setting up a 3rd down and 4 as he throws it away. Brooks with the pressure up front for the Seminoles, Dusty.
Orange is the new fast. That's a slogan around here in Syracuse. Under Dino Babers, they go fast, they get up to the line of scrimmage, and they put a lot of pressure on the defense to get a line and be ready, or else they catch them off balance.
Dungey, his intended receiver, Riley, fell on the play, but it looks like he's going to have a free one. Janarius Robinson jumping offside for the Seminoles.
Offside, defense, number 11, 5-yard penalty resulting in a 1st down.
Janarius Robinson clearly in front of the football. Free play. Unfortunately, Sean Riley falls down in the route. Didn't get a chance to take advantage of the free play. Nonetheless, it moves the chains.
Hands it off again to Mo Neal. Neal picked up about 2 on the play.
That's an area of this football team that they've really worked on, the ability to run the football, be physical up front. Dino Babers told us the biggest point of emphasis in camp, get more physical where we can play with the Florida States and with the Clemsons week in, week out.
And that's a guy that the offensive line is going to have to be physical with. Brian Burns is a threat up front for the Seminoles.
He's an NFL pass rusher. Really nice job as the tackle tries to cut him. Coda Martin tries to take his feet out. Brian Burns so athletic, jumps around it, gets the hand up, and deflects the pass.
Little receiver screen, Jamal Custis, one of their dangerous wideouts, but well played, and a flag. A gain of 6 on the play. And they're probably going to tack some more yards on after the catch.
After the play, personal foul, defense number 8, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Against Stanford Samuels.
The confusion, the speed of this offense creates. Florida State's not lined up. Eric Dungey recognizes it. He raises up. He throws it to Jamal Custis. And he gets outside, and he gets enough for the 1st down. Big mistake by Florida State. Stanford Samuels comes in definitely late after the play to tack on an extra 15. Got to be smarter, especially on the road.
Up at the 17. Thank you. 1st and 10. Wide open underneath, the pass complete. That's Butler, and Butler fighting for extra yards. Picks up a 1st down. Interminable effort by Devin Butler. He gains 11.
When Eric Dungey recognizes an uncovered man, and you're playing off of him, he's going to give him the rock and let him go to work.
Neal in the backfield. They bring in Elmore. There's an extra blocker. Neal chopped down after a gain of about 3 on the play. Sets up a 2nd down and goal for Hughes.
Yeah, I'd say Elmore is an extra blocker. He's 282 pounds. Offensive coordinator Mike Lynch said he's like having an extra offensive guard out there. I think that speaks to the way they want to be physical and run the football.
They'll just follow number 36. Here's Neal again. And it's going to set up a 3rd down and 3. They've tried to pound away on the last 2 plays, Dusty.
Power O back-to-back. Florida State holding up well on the inside. Big DeMarcus Christmas, number 90 in there, clogging up lanes, making life difficult to run the football.
13th play of the drive coming up for Syracuse. Dino Babers' team looking to start fast. Average over 58 points a game in their first 2 games. Florida State is a different animal here today. 3rd and goal. Play clock at 3. Neal, nowhere to go. Chopped down. An intransigent Florida State front. led by Dontavius Jackson to make the tackle. So now 4th down coming up.
Dontavius Jackson, he has great instincts as a linebacker. Downhill right now. Lowers his head and gets in the backfield, makes a big-time tackle for loss. Florida State's defense giving up some easy throws, yards after the catch. But as they get in the red zone, they bow their back and come up big as Syracuse tries to pound the football into the end zone.
Andre Schmidt in for a 22-yard field goal. And Schmidt makes it 3-0 for Syracuse. The Seminole defense was looking to get off to a faster start this week. They only give up a field goal. 3-0 when we come back to Syracuse, New York. An example of some talented African-American coaches in FBS. Zeno Babers and Willie Taggart going head-to-head here. 10% of college football coaches at this level. You had Lovie Smith.
Lovie Smith, my head coach at Chicago. Fantastic football coach. Had the opportunity to be a part of a Super Bowl team that saw both Tony Dungey and Lovie Smith.
More on that story on the other side. 1st down and 10 for Deondre Francois. Gets rid of it quickly, incomplete. Intended for Keith Gavin on the sidelines. And he ends up getting off his backside again.
Does. It's the big defensive tackle that we expected Chris Slayton to make his presence felt. Chris Slayton working on 72. Mike Arnold gets up underneath his arm, rips through. Another big hit. Deondre Francois. His hits are starting to stack up, Jonesy.
Willie Taggart said that his offensive line just needed to get back to basics. And that the staff was going to coach them up this week. Keep their quarterback upright. Give him a little bit of time. They set up the screen. Patrick gained about a yard on the play. Good tackle by Antoine Cordy.
I love the play call here, right? You got a defensive line that's got their ears pinned back. They're getting up the field. So what do? Running back screen. It was set up perfectly. But Antoine Cordy, the undisputed leader of this defense, with a big open field tackle for a minimal gain.
Trey McKitty has been quiet so far for Florida State, number 6. He's the inside receiver to the bottom of your screen. He's been a favorite target of Francois. He looks the other way and fires. Incomplete, intended for Keith Gavin. And it's 4th down coming up. That's the 3rd 3-and-out for Florida State.
Well, these hits have already taken their toll. This is a blitz coming from Syracuse. It's actually pretty well picked up. But he's bracing for impact. He's already bracing. He turns his head, turns his shoulder. He's not stepping into the throw because he knows pressure's coming, and he's already tired of taking that punishment.
Tyler's punt comes down to the 33, returnable. Antoine Cordy with a nice return. Thought he missed an opportunity there.
Mark, Medical's training staff for Syracuse was bandaging some bleeding on Eric Dungey's left arm. An O-lineman even went up to him and told him, hey, man, be a little bit more careful. But I talked to him yesterday. He said, I can't play to not get hurt. That's not who I am. So instead, he bulked up over the offseason. He's gained over 30 pounds since he first joined the team at Syracuse to kind of create armor so that he can take bigger hits. And if you look at him in a T-shirt, it looks like he's wearing inflated muscles. Obviously, he needs to be a little more careful out there, though, guys.
You know, Molly, Dusty, it's always fun when you can wear those medium shirts. You know what I mean? Tight fitting. Shows how shredded you are. And that time, Riley got shredded in the backfield by the Seminoles defense.
A.J. Litton.
That Burns there as well.
Nice play.
Folks, we talked about being shredded, and we talked about the heat in here becoming a factor. And we've kind of dried off a little bit.
A little bit.
It doesn't show, Dusty, but it's a little sticky under here.
I think it shows. I think it shows plenty. I got sweat stains all over myself. It is.
We got a second one coming in the second half, folks. My partner's going to be okay. Dungey got a man deep. Carl dropped in and out of the arms of Custis. He got in behind Asante Samuel Jr., and that had 6 written all over it.
Well, Jamal Custis wins at the line of scrimmage. One-on-one coverage with a true freshman, Asante Samuel. This is something they really worked on. Winning at the line of scrimmage. He starts outside, he comes inside, and he's got his man beat. Dungey delivers a dime. Ooh, what a drop that Jamal Custis wishes he could have back.
No doubt. Running here, Dante Strickland, and Strickland takes it out to the 34-yard line. 4th down coming up. On a 4-yard gain, and the punt unit coming right back in for Syracuse. You get the feeling, Dusty, Syracuse has really kind of outplayed Florida State, I think, in this game, but with only 3 points to show for it on the board.
Yeah, well,
they moved the ball well. Right?
Earlier, that sack cost them big time, pushed them back, made that a much longer field goal than what they wanted. Give Florida State credit. They've, they've done a nice job. Even though they've given up some yardage, when they get into the red area, they're able to come up with key stops. And Syracuse defense so far, they've been lights out.
Richter with a high spiral. Great punt, driving Matthews all the way back to the 7. Broke a tackle. DJ Matthews. Oh, the DJ ready to spin. And finally run out of bounds at the 45-yard line, right near that sideline. Push out of bounds by Whitner. Well, you do the math on it. Still adds up to 3-0 for Syracuse. Matthews putting the Seminoles in a good spot. Hands it off to Cam Akers, and he moves out over the 23. Taggart said he was on the plane right after he first took the Florida State job and called up his quarterback, Deondre Francois. And he said, hey, listen, I need you to be more of a physical presence. I need you not to be living off campus. I want you back on campus around your teammates to help build that valuable chemistry. And the quarterback has complied, that time handing it off to his tailback, Cam Akers.
Said he's been doing it ever since. He's been no problem whatsoever, to the point that he's been doing the little things, holding his own meetings with the offensive line, with the wide receivers, taken to exactly what Willie Taggart had asked. Another big 3rd down for Florida State, yet to convert here today.
Got to get to the 35.
McKitty in the slot. Tight end, Francois loves to go to in the middle of the field.
Can they give him enough time to throw? He got it, and he delivers a strike, but it's a little bit short. That's Keith Gavin at the other end of that frozen rope thrown by Francois.
One of the few times he's had the opportunity to step into a throw all afternoon, but Gavin's route comes up short on the comeback. He's got to push that route past the sticks in order to get the 1st down.
4th down and 2, and in comes Logan Tyler. Antoine Cordy back deep, already the 6th punt of the day for Tyler. Cordy is fun to watch. Pound for pound, perhaps the strongest player on that Syracuse team. 5'8". Makes the catch, sliding in at the 33. Tigers looking strong, off to a good start. 1st down and 10 for Syracuse. 8 minutes to play in the 1st half. A yawning hole on the right side of that offensive line. Mo Neal runs right through it to pick up about 8.5 yards on the play. Sets up a 2nd and short.
Excellent vision by Mo Neal to see the cutback and pick up a nice gain.
Here he is again, this time stopped up right near or behind the line of scrimmage. Good penetration by Christmas and Dontavius Jackson. Adonis Thomas also there for Florida State.
Interior, that Florida State defensive line. It's really done a nice job here this afternoon.
3rd and 2. They're not going to get there. Mo Neal stopped up short. That time the defensive front for the Seminoles winning again. Corey Druden and Jaden Woodby. And Coach Babers seemingly a little incensed on the sidelines as a dejected offense comes to the side. Yeah, great visit with Coach Babers yesterday. Great energy.
Watch this. Watch the defensive line. They're not even set up, but they're going to be able to get penetration and get up the field. and give Mo Neal nowhere to go running the football. It's an outstanding job by Florida State.
Sterling Hoffrichter to punt from his own 30-yard line. Matthews had a big punt return in the first quarter called back because of a penalty. And he calls for the fair catch at the 13-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 for Florida State. Still trying to get on the board, and we'll have the answer to our Aflac trivia question when we come back. First and 10 for the Seminoles. 3 receivers out to the bottom of your screen. Akers takes the handoff into the boundary and brought down at the 14. Damali.
You guys, Eric Dungey's physicality is catching up with him. There's a rip in his jersey. He was bleeding earlier, and he recently just had something in his eye. It looks like a piece of rubber from the turf, and medical training staff were tending to him. They said that he'll be okay.
Okay, so Molly, what hasn't happened to him so far in this game? Tough beginning, much like last year for Dungey, who broke his foot on the 5th play of the game against Florida State. Able to bring his team within a game-winning field goal of winning that goal. Francois picked off at the 30. Frederick. And Syracuse with the turnover. That's their 6th interception of the season.
Man-to-man coverage on the outside. Chris Frederick, he's lined up in the slot. He's locked down on Tamorian Terry. Undercuts the route. Bad throw by Deondre Francois, as if he never saw the defender. An outstanding takeaway for Chris Frederick. 6th interception already on the young season for the Orange defense. Eclipsed 4 all of last year, Jonesy.
That's been a point of emphasis amongst the coaching staff for Dino Babers this year. Brian Ward, the defensive coordinator. Getting it done. Dungey put it on the ground, got it back. And made it back near the line of scrimmage. Let's see if the Syracuse Orange can convert on that turnover. Heard from Molly a moment ago, Dungey had something in his eye. Not just those Seminole defenders. He trips right. Dungey going to take off, perhaps just to be safe and get within field goal range. And that might be a late hit. Yes, it is. That's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct call on Cyrus Fagan. It's already been a long afternoon for Dungey.
And it's been a long afternoon.
Personal foul, defense, number 24, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's the 9th penalty for Florida State.
Aaron Roberts going to pull around. Watch the pancake. 59 is about to put on the linebacker to Kalen Brooks. Wow. Last year, Roberts missed the entire season with an injury. He's back.
Trying to figure out what the story is with Eric Dungey, who's now on the sidelines. Took a hit on that penalty a moment ago.
To the head.
Strickland in the backfield, takes the handoff. Wrapped up, but he moved the pile a couple of yards, got about 3, and boy, concern now for Eric Dungey, which has been an all-too prevailing theme here on this hit.
Watch at the end as Fagan comes in. It's helmet to helmet. He grabs his face mask. He looks up to the official. Well,
and we got another Florida State player down to the field on this last play. Dungey being attended to on the sidelines.
We're checking him for concussion on the sidelines over here right in front of us. Yeah.
See how those pupils dilate and how they react.
Yeah, directly in front of us. He's up to his feet. Expect something very safe here from DeVito. Easy, quick throw. Or give the ball to the running back, Dante Strickland.
2nd and 11. They fake the screen, go to Custis up top. They're going to rule it a catch at the 1-yard line. Jamal Custis.
I think he got the foot in. Outstanding throw over the shoulder. What a great catch. Foot is in.
Yes, that left foot.
Outstanding catch by the 6'5" wide receiver over the shoulder. understanding where the sideline is. I thought they'd take it easy with the redshirt freshman, and they said, no, let's throw the slot fade over on the sidelines.
First and goal. DeVito hands it off. Strickland, did he get in? No, they're going to mark it just a little bit short. And one of the officials gets knocked over.
Ooh, I don't know. I think he's in the end zone.
Well, Dante Strickland got marked a little bit short. Sets up second and goal.
They took another look at this. I think Strickland was laying in. Ooh.
They're going to go again. They're up at the line of scrimmage. Strickland. And stopped again. Kyle Myers from his cornerback spot with great run support. Third and goal for Cuse.
Outstanding job on the inside, fitting your gaps, winning the line of scrimmage, and then Kyle Myers, the free hitter, the quarterback, making the play in the backfield on third and short, fourth and short. This Florida State defense has come up huge so far in this first half.
Babers has his jumbo package in there still, Dusty. Out of throwing formation. Elmore in motion. They try it again. Strickland denied, defended, defeated. Dontavius Jackson was the first one there. And the defense stones Syracuse.
Dontavius Jackson, he's been a man-child in the short yardage. He gets the penetration, he gets in the backfield, the initial hit, and then it's a true freshman, Jaden Woodby, with a big stop. Wow. Big momentum for Florida State, going their backs and not letting the orange in the end zone.
Harlan Burnett's defensive squad, the defensive coordinator, well schooled and coached on that one. This, a 19-yard field goal attempt is good by Andre Schmidt. But you got to consider that a major win for Florida State, Dusty. That's the end of the first half. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Under the bubble here at Syracuse, a surprisingly low-scoring football game between two teams with offensive-minded coaches. Babers and Willie Taggart, Syracuse and Florida State respectively. The one prevailing storyline coming into the game this afternoon was going to the oppressive inclemency of the heat. It has been stifling in here to the point where our Molly McGrath reported earlier it was some 88 degrees under the roof. As we take a look at today's player spotlight, brought to you by John Deere. And a question that begs going into the second half, what of quarterback Eric Dungey? He was knocked up a couple of times and roughed up a few times in that first half, knocked to the ground. It'll be 1st and 25, Syracuse and Dungey on offense. Now, this was our Molly McGrath a few moments ago, literally chasing down the story on Dungey.
Just a quick couple of questions, Coach. Just asked the question last time, Molly. I know. Is your quarterback? Is your quarterback starting? I don't know yet. You don't know?
So as you can hear, Dino Babers did not want to talk to me at halftime, guys, and I asked him the most pressing question, is your quarterback starting in the second half? He said, I don't know, and looking out here, Eric Dungey is not on the sideline, Mark.
Good wheels by Molly. That's all I know.
Last week it was motorcycle Molly. Right. Now it's marathon Molly, the way she's running after Dino Babers.
Oh, man.
Awesome. But as we start the second half, no Eric Dungey.
No, it's Tommy DeVito in at quarterback. He threw that nice pass on that drive late in the first half. So the storyline shifting now as Riley makes the catch for Syracuse. Mark Jones chopping it up with Dusty Dvorak. We saw Molly a moment ago on that report. What do you make of Tommy DeVito and the way he accounted for himself in the latter part of the first half?
Well, he stepped in, he threw a dime. A great touch pass to Jamal Custis on the sidelines. Syracuse unable to get it in from the one for a touchdown, but in limited throws we've seen him be decisive. We've seen him throw the football on the money. So long second half, and a really talented Florida State defense can be coming after the young quarterback.
Yeah, we'll see if they try and heat him up a little bit. We talked about Eric Dungey at the top of the show. Injuries have been a concern for him in his time here at Syracuse. DeVito incomplete at the 38-yard line, in and out of the arms of Ravion Pierce.
of that pressure coming. Jaden Woodby, the true freshman, 5-star recruit, coming off the edge. Good coverage and man-to-man on the outside, forcing the incompletion. Not surprising, they want to heat up this young redshirt freshman, make life a little bit uncomfortable for him back in the pocket.
DeVito given time, going up top. Down the sideline, tiptoe and caught. Express yourself, Jamal Custis.
Concentration on the sidelines by the 6'5" Jamal Custis in a breakout season so far. Turns for the football, 2 hands on it, gets the foot in bounds. Excellent adjustment to the ball.
DeVito hands it off to him again, a burst up the middle, and a good gain again by Mo Neal. But about 7 or 8 more. It's Westbrook making the tackle on the play. Syracuse getting into their tempo game. Out onto the edge, Pierce. Broke a tackle. First and goal, Syracuse.
To play receiver in this offense, you got to block on the edge. 5, Devin Butler sets up this right here. Excellent blocking on the perimeter. And 6, Ravion Pierce takes advantage.
Syracuse has had many opportunities down in the shadows of the goalposts, but they've run the ball each time, 6 times in all, and Dino Baber's squad unable to get into the end zone. Dusty, at some point, are we going to expect them to pass it?
Well, I mean, I understand.
They ran it 3 times in a row last time, didn't get anywhere.
At some point, don't you have to play action? Don't you have to understand that Florida State is fully selling out to stop your run game and make them pay for that?
Yeah. 4 receivers, 1 back.
One thing we saw in the first half, they went more big people, multiple tight ends, you know, multiple people in the backfield. Now they're still going to spread it out in their 11 personnel.
DeVito's going to run it. Gets inside the 5. Picked up 5 yards. Syracuse on the cusp of getting their first touchdown of the game. In a huge stage for Dino Baber's team.
It was like a touchdown would allow them to break through, right, in this game, as well as Dino Babers. He tried to downplay the importance of this game, but we know when you play a team like Florida State, it just means a little bit more. It would be a huge win for this program.
Custis lined up as a receiver. They throw it up, jump ball, and a little too far. Working against Stanford Samuels, the safety.
A little too quick.
That was there.
You gotta allow the receiver a chance to get out there if you're gonna throw it that far to the corner of the end zone. A little bit off on his pass, but yes, I'll take that. You take that matchup any day of the week. A 6'5" Jamal Custis working on the 6'2" Stanford Samuels. And Custis can just go up and get it. Got those long arms.
See if they go right back to him. DeVito's going to run it. Touchdown! Oh, it came loose. But a touchdown signal first.
Well, they told us yesterday that Eric Dungey was the heartbeat of this team, and as he goes, we go. But enter Tommy DeVito, and he's not shied away from the moment. He's led this offense extremely well, and finally leads the Orange into the end zone to pay dirt. I think he crossed the goal line before that ball came loose. We'll take a look at it here. Great angle by our camera crew. I think that's a touchdown. He's got control.
Yeah, it looked
and
like
then the ball comes out.
Play is under further review.
But that
The ruling on the field is a touchdown.
that's a statement drive from your backup quarterback, especially given Jonesy. How much did they tell us yesterday what Eric Dungey means to this football team, and how important it was that he stays healthy? For a backup quarterback, redshirt freshman, to step in and be able to lead this offense that way speaks volumes about the growth of this program.
Certainly does. He had a tremendous spring game. He was 8 of 15. Threw a touchdown, 58 yards, and showed a lot of promise, knowing he was going to be the backup.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Stephen A. Smith, you know, whenever he came in, that really stuck with him. And as our very own Molly Marathon McGrath said in the Open today, the impression it left on them is they wanted to annihilate their opponent. Like Stephen A.'s words are ringing some bells today here in Syracuse.
Well, amongst what he said was, if you see that someone else has what you want, don't be afraid to go work for it and go get it. And DeVito has the stage. We talked about the dynamic and magnetic personality of Dino Babers, the head coach. Boy, if the eyes are the windows to the soul, then those eyes told a great story, an inspiring one right now for Syracuse. We lead 13-0. 13-0. And Deondre Francois has to get things going here. Jacques Patrick in the backfield beside him. Completes it at the 20-yard line. Good tackle by Cordy on Murray. Pass complete. The tall, strapping Marion Terry. Let's go back a little bit. At halftime of last week's game, quarterback Deondre Francois reminded his teammates of the opportunity. Said that, last year, guys, I wasn't even playing at this time. I was injured, rehabbing. The game can be taken from you at any time. Let's not blow any opportunities. They came back and won. See how inspired they are here in the third this week. Sacked back at the 17 by Coleman.
With Juwan Williams, we thought coming into the game that he was going to have issues on the edge. Kendall Coleman working on him, gets his hand. You see the dips underneath the shoulder of the offensive tackle, tightens up that edge. He keeps it really clean, and he gets to the quarterback once again. Deondre Francois been under constant pressure from the opening snap here today.
Tyler punting from his own 8, a high spiral. Cordy back at his own 43, and Syracuse is going to have great starting field position after that 39-yard punt. Javion Howard getting his first appearance in the backfield. They swing it outside to Johnson. And Johnson hit by A.J. Westbrook. Picked up 7 on the play. Syracuse going fast. Elmore, the big guy, split wide, a 2-by-2 formation.
Watch up here. They'll run the screen up here with a big, what's like an offensive lineman out front to block.
DeVito hands it off straight ahead. It's Howard. Third and short coming up after the 2-yard gain.
Ooh, that's big-time football right there. Hakeem Johnson running through A.J. Westbrook's tackle.
Howard breaking through and breaking loose. Tackled at the 3-yard line. First and goal, Syracuse.
With a true freshman with a huge impact. Not much there inside. They wash down the left side. He makes one man miss. It's a linebacker, Dontavius Jackson, and he's off to the races in the secondary. Javion Howard built like a rock and a big run, setting Syracuse up in prime real estate.
A 45-yard gallop, the longest of the day. First and goal, Syracuse. DeVito into the end zone, touchdown! Ravion Pierce. Tell you what, that was a slam dunk as far as Coach Boeheim's concerned. Pierce with his second touchdown catch of the season, the 6th of his career. They're reawakening the echoes of the great past here at Syracuse. And last night, the athletic director, John Wildhack, spoke to the 96-98 team.
And our goal is to take our program now and to get it where you built it to. We want to get back to championship caliber football. We want to win ACC titles. That's what the goal is. We win ACC titles, then we'll be right there for national titles. That's the objective, that's the goal.
Lofty standards set by John Wildhack, a former colleague of ours, doing a great job here at Syracuse.
Really impressed with what he's done. I think it's so imperative to bring back the guys of the past. Donovan McNabb, Keith Bullock, Rob Conrad, Donovan Darius, all in the house last night. You've got to go back to those guys, bring them back into the family, create that culture. On Wildhack, an outstanding job as the athletic director here at Syracuse.
Both he and Dino Babers making that connection to their great past. Bruton on the return, and he got roughed up. Francois eluded the safety and fires a rope to Keith Gavin, giving himself a little bit of breathing room, and they're going fast now. DJ Matthews with the catch.
Well, it's good pressure inside once again. No blocking for Francois. He says, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. Gets outside the pocket, fires a strike on the sidelines.
25 yards, the longest of the day. Florida State still hasn't scored a touchdown against an FBS opponent this year. Only had 3 points against Virginia Tech, and last week 36 against Samford, an FCS team. Francois sliding head first.
We got to give Brian Ward, the defensive coordinator at Syracuse, a ton of credit. Okay, he was very confident. We sat down with him yesterday, his 3rd year here at Syracuse, his 1st year down in the field, which he doesn't like. But man, does he have his defense playing at a very high level.
Little trips left formation for the Seminoles. Looking for the double throw. Gavin downfield and couldn't get there in time. Murray threw it, and Syracuse didn't bite.
That's a true freshman who's staying home, who's playing assignment, disciplined football. That's a smart play there by Florida State. Try to take advantage of the double pass, but a true freshman safety in Andre Cisco was not to be fooled.
That really shows Cisco's maturation.
That's right.
When he struggled and got burned earlier this year on a couple of deep balls. 3rd and 6. Pressure set. Francois brought down to the 31-yard line. Jonathan beat Abdul Bello on the play.
Well, it's been a little bit of everybody today. This time we're going to take a look at Jonathan off the edge. Guys have been outstanding. Jonathan, you see him swat the hands. It's not just Jonathan, it's also 95 Chris Slayton. Everybody's getting in on the sack party.
They are shutting out Florida State. I'm not sure anybody expected this. Fair catch called by Cordy. And the pass to the flag complete. Johnson darting down the sideline into Florida State territory.
The bubble screen on the outside. We've talked about this. You better tackle well in space in this game. And on that play, Florida State safety Stanford Samuels does not tackle well on a big gain for 82. Nykeem Johnson down the sideline.
23-yard gain, 1st and 10. Handed off to Howard, who had that long run in the previous scoring series.
True freshman. It's well put together. 210-plus pounds, a little bit more bigger, physical back. We saw the speed earlier when he broke out in the open field.
DeVito completes a little receiver screen to Johnson. Johnson picks up a couple of yards. Momentum clearly in favor of Florida State. How do they even try or think about wresting a little bit of momentum back at this point with this defense on its heels collectively?
They want to stay pedal to the metal. They're not going to back down and not going to slow up. They're going to do what they do. Though it seems that they are taking a little bit off the gas.
Go backfield. Howard as a receiver this time picks up another first down, and they're going to spot him at about the 21-yard line.
DeKalen Brooks, the linebacker, gets matched up in man-to-man coverage on the running back, Jarvian Howard, who's had a monster third quarter for this Syracuse offense. And Brooks can't beat him to the spot. Nice little touch pass by DeVito. An easy first down out in the flats.
16-yard gain, and that will punctuate the end of the third quarter as Coach Babers puts 4 fingers to the sky. DeVito 10 of 12 passing. Babers, backup quarterback, doing a great job. It's all in the eyes, folks. Babers making that connection. Back for the fourth quarter in a minute. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Xfinity. A look at the Florida State sidelines during that last quarter break. Willie Taggart bringing his crew in together, his voice intoning passionately, trying to bring them together as one, and chemistry has been a problem with this team since he took over, or at least previous to when he took over. Felt there were, what, 80 different players and 80 different agendas.
That's what he said when he took over. He said the first order of business was getting these guys to come together, play for one another. Said guys didn't hang out with their other teammates. Really want to make it a family atmosphere.
Vito incomplete.
Well, guys, Willie Taggart was trying to instill a little bit of fire in his team. Their body language on the sideline is pretty bad. Their heads are down, their shoulders are hunched over, and when guys are spirited, they're arguing with each other here on the Florida State sideline.
Well, Willie Taggart has done a great job at his previous stops. Western Kentucky, pass complete to Pierce, and Pierce picks up a first down. Looks like it'll be first and goal Syracuse.
I'll tell you what, Devin Butler, 5. He's had a couple of drops the first couple of games, but the one thing the coaching staff told us, he's an outstanding blocker. Look at him down here, just getting locked up and open up some room for Ravion Pierce to get the first down.
Vito hands it off. Good fake afterwards. Howard on the carry. Stopped up right around the 10-yard line. And just getting back to Willie Taggart, he will turn it around at Florida State. He's a guy who has been successful at each of his previous stops, especially at South Florida. Great offensive mind. Great tactician. Recruiter.
It took him a couple of years at both Western Kentucky and South Florida before they got it going, but I agree with you.
DeVito following his guard and tackle through the hole, stopped up at the 5-yard line by Christmas. Picked up 4 on the play. It'll be third down and goal for Syracuse. Taggart, a native of Bradenton, Florida.
Art Browse, his offense is all over what Dino has here in Syracuse. The bones of it are from that Baylor offense, but Dino's got his own twist on it here in Syracuse.
Smith from 23, high snap, but they get it down. And it's 23-0 for Syracuse. With that infectious energy affecting his team in a great way right now.
I'm with you, Drill Mack. He's going to give Russell Wilson all he wants and some.
This will come out first down and 10.
His O-line's pretty good up there too, James.
Yeah.
They can mash people.
A time-honored formula for the Badgers. Francois incomplete for Gavin at the 35.
Nykeem Johnson said it this week, we're definitely looking to run up the score and annihilate them. Stats don't always tell the story, but I would say this afternoon, stats have told the story pretty well. Almost 2 times the amount of plays 2.5 times as many yards, almost double the time of possession, pitching a shutout here with 9 to go in the fourth quarter.
Francois has a little bit of time here, a rarity. Gavin makes a great catch at the 32. And a rare first down for the Seminoles on the long gain. He beat Frederick on the play. 39-yard gain, and there was Syracuse players shaken up.
Dime by Deondre Francois, but the focus, the concentration by Gavin to bring that ball in off the charts. Great grab by the junior wide receiver, Keith Gavin.
Francois taking off. Oh, he put his foot in the ground, but a great cut. And it's going to be first and goal Seminoles from about the 9.
Good recognition by Francois. Nothing down the field. They're man-to-man coverage, so he's got the back of defenders' heads facing him. Green grass in front. Nice pickup.
They hand it off to Jacquez Patrick with nowhere to go. Not much of a surge from that offensive line, Dusty.
Well, Chris Slayton just getting up the field. He swims a guard. He splits the double team. He makes the play in the backfield. Man, it squats 700 pounds. 24.5 tackles for loss coming into the game. Watch him swim those two offensive linemen to get in the backfield. They needed him to come up big, and he's been a monster in the middle of this Orange defense. Chris Slayton making a name for himself here today.
One of the leaders on that front. Second and goal. 3 receivers out to the top of your screen. Terry, the inside one. Patrick in motion. Francois keeps it and scores the touchdown. That is their first touchdown against an FBS team this year. And his second rushing touchdown of the season.
76, big Arthur Williams. Watch him get out. He's going to knock out Alton Robinson. 59, Brady Scott's going to get up on the safety. Evan Foster, Deondre Francois, able to finally get the Noles offense into the end zone.
Ricky Aguayo with the extra point. There's several Aguayos that have kicked at Florida State. He knocks it through. 6:16 to go. It's a 23-7 game. Timeout on the field, and I ask you this. How many head coaches have one of their players living at the crib, at his house, in the basement? Going back several years, Coda Martin, offensive lineman for Syracuse, thought he played his final game in high school with his dad, a coach. Played at Texas A&M and then met Jasmine Babers. The two of them subsequently got married. Coda Martin's dad, now a coach here at Syracuse. And on the onside kick, Syracuse fielding it cleanly. Strickland down to the 25. But interesting that Jasmine and Coda get married. They live in Coach Dino Babers' basement. What a great, unique situation to have that and your dad also on staff, Molly.
Yeah, and Coda transferred to Syracuse to be closer to family, but he's made it known, not his wife's, as he married Jasmine Babers. And a lot of people say, you know, it can be a slippery slope having your son-in-law play for you on the offensive line, but everyone has said that Coda Martin has worked hard for his starting position, and a lot of them respect him because of that.
And you know, the other aspect that kind of gets lost in it is he's a hell of a football player. I mean, the guy does a really good job blocking. He'd be starting for Texas A&M right now, had 16 starts there. And so he really helps his football team from a physicality standpoint. And I thought it was very interesting that he said he wanted to come here and help change the culture. He wanted to be a part of the change and what's going on here at Syracuse with his father-in-law, with his father, obviously coaching the team. And I thought it was interesting. Dino says, doesn't treat him any differently than any of the other players. And he says to him, well, he was asked a question this week, what happens whenever you come home? And he says, well, whenever I come home, Coda's in bed. Whenever I go back to the office, he's still in bed. So no different than his other players he has on the team.
Awesome story. The run, close to the first down. That was Dante Strickland. And by the way, Jasmine former volleyball player at Texas A&M. They met at a Fellowship of Christian Athletes gathering. It's pretty cool having the son-in-law at the crib, though.
Not bad. Keep tabs on him. You know what I mean?
Get some extra film.
Jasmine gets a little bit of credit for her recruiting efforts.
Great-looking family. 3rd down and 1.
Nice set of locks there on Coda Martin as well. You know, I can appreciate some nice long hair on a big ugly.
DeVito, I know you weren't talking about yourself. You know, you were shortly and nicely coiffed there on the sides. That's going to be Strickland. Yeah, you see Elmore with the number 36 with the long hair out the back, and Martin with the long hair back. A couple of weeks ago when we were down doing that Texas Tech game in Houston, I didn't even recognize you back in the day with the flowing locks out the back. You know, like that's the guy I'm working with.
That was a
now.
different time, Jonesy. Different time. I was about 60 pounds heavier and had about 1.5 foot longer hair. Somehow my wife married me with that thing put back in a ponytail. How about that?
Working for you. 3.5 minutes to go. Those guys up front have done a nice job here for Syracuse. That's the battle they thought they could win, and still winning. Touchdown, Orange. Strickland.
That kind of puts the exclamation point on what it's been today for this Syracuse football team. They told us, Dino Babers told us, as well as his offensive coordinator Mike Lynch, his defensive coordinator Brian Ward, to a man they all felt that the offensive and defensive line was the strength of this football team. We've seen the defensive line really come to play today, and whether it be stopping the run, getting sacks, it's come true. And here in the second half, they protected well, and they've really done a better job in the running game. The physicality up front for Syracuse has been on full display.
Yeah, Conway, Roberts, Service, Adams, and the guy who lives in Coach's basement, Coda Martin, who has his dad on staff as quarterback coach. Been that type of good day for Syracuse.
And Ikeem Johnson said it this week. We're definitely looking to run up the score and annihilate them as they tack on another touchdown with about 3 minutes left to play. And I'm not going to say it is or what it isn't, but what these numbers tell me, a thorough annihilation, Jonesy.
Yeah, they've beaten them soundly and firmly.
In every phase.
Yep.
In every phase.
Syracuse has run the ball for 204 yards on the ground. Strickland picking up 13 on that touchdown gallop.
You know, this will be the first ACC win for Syracuse since they knocked off Clemson a year ago right here in this dome.
I don't think you can overstate how tough it can be coming in as a new head coach and taking over when you don't have the pieces and guys that you want or need to run your system. That pass incomplete. It's like Bill Parcells said back in the day, if you're going to make me cook the meal, at least let me buy the ingredients.
You buy the groceries.
Yeah.
Right? He wants to go to the grocery store. Well, that's right. And, you know, I think as Willie Taggart's able to get his players in here and he's able to get the pieces that fit his system, things will get better. I just think first and foremost, the offensive line, it's got to be addressed. They've got to figure out a way to navigate through this season and put that offensive line in situations to have success, because through 3 games, they've been thoroughly manhandling in every contest.
Cam Akers on the run, picks up about a yard.
You guys, one of my favorite facts about Dino Babers, Syracuse's head coach, is that he refuses to use a physical playbook, because when he was at Arizona in the late 90s, a disgruntled player uploaded the entire book to the internet and the offense there plummeted. I asked him about it. He immediately ran to the next room and brought this to show us he definitely hasn't let it go yet.
Under 2 minutes to go. Incomplete for Akers. Take a look at Syracuse's upcoming schedule. I mentioned UConn after Florida State. And tough one at Clemson and at Pitt.
North Carolina, very winnable game here in the Dome. NC State's going to be really tough. I mean, nothing's a gimme in the ACC, but Syracuse is a good football team, much improved on both sides of the ball. I think one question we leave here with is what's the status of Eric Dungey moving forward?
Yeah, that's a big one. Francois still in. Incomplete for Terry. I go back to one of the items we talked about at the top of the show. A couple of African-American coaches on the respective sidelines in this game. Good afternoon for one, not so much for Willie Taggart. But in summary, it seems to be that college football is at least efforting to move in the right direction and hiring qualified African-American coaches like these two gentlemen on the field here today. And Babers telling us yesterday that he wants to do well enough so that he can maybe inspire another young African-American coach who dreams of being a college football head coach and do well.
What a great guy Dino Babers is.
Great energy yesterday.
I mean, just positive energy. Talking with the offensive coordinator, Mike Lynch. Asked him, you know, what's it like? We walk out of a meeting with Babers into a meeting with offensive coordinator Mike Lynch. Tough physical run.
Yeah.
But he said, you know, I said, what's it like to coach with him? He said, man, he started smiling. He said, it's fun. The atmosphere is always upbeat. He's full of life. He's so much fun. And he even commented on his family. He's the exact same way. I mean, he's just the type of guy you want to be around. And to me, Jonesy, that's infectious. And that's a trickle down that's permeating all throughout this program.
Yeah, Mike Lynch talked about Dino Babers' wonderful daughters, thoughtful daughters, helpful daughters, you know, babysitting, taking care of some of the kids on the coaching staff. We approach 1 minute to go. Three-yard run by Mackenzie Pierre.
Also can't lose sight of the fact this is a very senior latent team, right? And the senior leadership on this team has been outstanding, Dino Babers told us. Not a guy on this team has seen a winning season at Syracuse, and they want to change that. The senior class wanted to be the start of that change, and they've really handled their business to start this 2018 campaign.
To start the day, it was a rough day. Yours truly had his bag fall out of the car, unbeknownst to us on the drive to the stadium. Lost my bag with all my ID, my wallet, my money, my charts for the game, most importantly, and a shout out to my man, Tarif, who found my bag in the middle of the street here in Syracuse, took it to the authorities, and gave it to me 45 minutes before kick. A big assist and a big win for Dino Babers today. Their first win against Florida State since 1966. There'll be better days for Willie Taggart. But DeVito coming on in relief of Dungey to get it done. Stay tuned for Boise State and Oklahoma State next on ESPN. For Molly McGrath, Dusty Dvorak, and our crew, I'm Mark Jones. Right now we're going to sell you to Stillwater, Oklahoma for the Broncos and the Cowboys.